Jonatha Giddens to the stage. Jonatha is a marine ecologist and National Geographic Fellow that is using drop cam technology to explore the deep sea. She also combines science, art, and storytelling in order to further human-nature connections.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for having me, and I'm very excited to be here and speak with you today about our research project with National Geographic Exploration Technology Labs using deep ocean drop cams to explore the deep ocean. And before I get into the technology and the research project, I just want to tell you a short personal story that illustrates what drives me in my work with ocean conservation. And the answer is experiencing places like this in this picture. This is a picture of Elgol on the Highlands of Scotland, so it's the Isle of Skye in the Highlands of Scotland. And this picture I drew when I was 17 years old, and it was the day that I banished cameras from my life. I said, these are just a distraction from me actually experiencing the place. So what happened was, it was my first trip overseas, and being a new tourist, I thought that as a tourist we're supposed to just take pictures of everything. And so I tried to do that, and it was exhausting, and I felt a disconnect between what I was looking at through this lens of a camera. And so finally, when we got to Elgol, the very last stop of the day in the Isle of Skye, my camera ran out of batteries. And instead of thinking, oh, I'll go and change the batteries, I thought, oh, thank God, now I don't have this distraction in front of me, and I can actually just really absorb the place. And so over the next couple of days, I drew these pictures of Elgol, and it really kind of became alive in me. So even though I had banished cameras and I thought art is the only way to experience the world, I was very wrong because I set that up as a dichotomy, either one or the other. But there was a truth that I found that day when I drew my drawings with nature. And that truth is that drawing is a process that makes me focus my attention and makes me engage with the place very deeply. And so now, cameras are the hero of the story. So we're using these deep ocean drop cameras that National Geographic Society developed to explore all over the world into the deep ocean. Like was mentioned, only 5% of the ocean has been explored, and so these cameras can go where we've never seen before. And so I'll show you a little clip about how they work. So they're untethered, which makes them very portable, and they're weighted, and they drop down to the bottom of the seafloor with this weight, and they have their own lights to light up the scene. So this scene is from the East Pacific, and this is a couple hundred meters down, which is way, way below diving depth. So these are very delicate ecosystems that we otherwise would not have been able to see. And these delicate ecosystems that are out of sight are facing all these challenges that could silently go extinct from all the human impacts of climate change, deep sea mining, all these disturbances. And so this video footage, we can see all these places that we never had been able to see before. So these cameras are programmed to record for a number of hours, and then when they're done recording, they drop their weight and they go up to the surface, and they send a radio signal, and they're picked up by the ship. And so what's amazing how portable and robust they are, they've already been deployed 24 times and counting around the Earth. From the Russian Arctic to Antarctica was the most recent expedition, mostly with National Geographic's Pristine Seas expeditions. And so what I do with the video footage is we're constructing a global database, a global index of biodiversity of the deep sea. And so this is just looking at a couple of different measures of biodiversity, one for each panel, for a subset of sites in the eastern tropical Pacific, which shows that the Galapagos in green are emerging as more diverse than the other areas. So this is just a snippet of what we're going to be doing for this global database to assess biodiversity in the deep sea. So now cameras are windows into nature instead of being a distraction. But the exploration process does not stop with being a number on a graph. Art is still a way to engage more deeply with these sea creatures or with these places. And so one way of engaging and also sharing that experience is with Open Explorer, National Geographic's digital field journal that anybody can, for your projects, maybe this weekend you think of your projects you want to open up and start telling people, open up an expedition in Open Explorer and start telling people about your story. And so I've been putting drawings of the deep sea here, and it's called Into the Deep, so you can follow us on our expedition there and you can start your own. And I guess the moral of the story, or bringing it back, is that technology and art can work together to help us see further than anyone could do alone. Thank you.
Thank you, Jonatha.